Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top wide receiver start versus sit for week 9. You ready? The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas. All right, before we get started, let me explain how this works. We're looking at the matchups for each week, and then we're going to see what our stat machine shows us on who we should start and who should we sit. We also have a flex position in there too. So let's go ahead and get through this. Right now, you have Arizona versus the Dallas Cowboys, and what we see here is Zay Jones, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Michael Wilson are all listed as a flex position. What does that mean? Well, most people have 2 wide receiver spots per team. And if you're a 16-team league, we're going to take the top 32 wide receivers and put them as a start. We're going to do the next 16 as a flex, and the rest are sits. Now, right here, what is our threshold? Well, if you're a wide receiver and your matchup score is over 20, then you get a start. If you're over 18, you'll get a flex position. So you see here, you got Zay Jones, Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson all in the flex position, and this is where they're expected to score. Now you have CeeDee Lamb is the only Dallas Cowboy who has a start with a 20.86, whereas you got George Pickens, again, just barely missed that threshold of starting. Just made the flex hold of sit, And then what does that mean? Well, Dallas is the 32nd ranked wide receiver defensive team. And then Arizona is the 6th ranked pass defense in the league. All right, let's move on to the next one. We're going to go through this quicker here. Atlanta versus New England. You got Drake London, Daryl Mooney, Casey Washington all sit. Why is that? Well, New England is the 13th best defense against the pass, and Atlanta is the 2nd best pass defense team, but you saw it last week. The Dolphins cooked them. So New England with Drake May, the only thing is you got Kayshon Boutte as a flex position. He might be able to give you some points. The rest are sits. Not number 2. At Baltimore versus Miami, you have all sits. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins. Why is that? Well, Miami's pass defense is actually pretty good. They're 5th ranked. And then you have Lamar Jackson coming back. Probably is going to be more suited for the tight ends in the rushing game. So I push. That's all your sits. For Miami, you got Jalen Waddle and Malik Washington all in that flex position. They're expected to get about 19.4, 18.9 respectively. Let's move on to the next matchup. Buffalo versus Kansas City. Now look, both of these defenses are pretty good against the pass. Kansas City's the 9th ranked pass defense team. Buffalo's the 7th ranked. You're not going to see a lot of starts there. But Khalil Shakir is expected and listed as a starter, and Rashee Rice is a starter. Now, most people will go ahead and go with these other names here. Like Keon Coleman, you'll probably start, but this says you're not going to get many points, so take a look at that matchup. Xavier Worthy, people are starting him, but now that Rashee Rice is back, I just don't see him getting the touches that he needs. Let's go on to the next matchup. Here we have Carolina versus Green Bay. Now, some leagues I've seen a sit for Xavier Legette. You got, and McMillan is both listed as starters. They're expected to do 22.61, 21.2. That's because Green Bay has a mediocre pass defense. They're 15th in the league. Whereas Green Bay, you have Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Seems to be a little issue with Matthew Golden not getting some passes, but your flex position, meaning if you need somebody and you have them, put him in that third wide receiver spot on your team, and then that way you might be able to get some points out of it. But Carolina is the 4th best pass defense team. And let's go on to our next matchup. Chicago versus Cincinnati. Now, this is going to surprise most people, because how do you put Rome on the bench and then DJ Moore? How are you going to put him on the bench is pretty much, most leagues won't say that. It'll be interesting to see next week. And for Cincinnati, obviously you're starting Jamar Chase, you're starting T. Higgins, and that's because Chicago has the 12th best pass defense team, and Cincinnati has the 18th best pass defense team. So that's our matchup there. Our next matchup is Denver versus the Houston Texans. And you have Troy Franklin now is a starter. He's been doing well. You also have Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims. He got some points last week, but if you average it out the last 2 weeks, not enough to put him into a flex position. But Houston has the number 1 pass defense team, whereas Denver has the number 8 pass defense team. So what does that mean? It means that you're not really going to start anybody for the Houston Texans. They just missed your flex position at 16.22, and that's that matchup. Our next matchup is Detroit versus Minnesota. This looks like a it's going to be a shootout, high-powered offenses on both sides. But let's break it down. Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously is going to get a start. Here you have Khalif Raymond getting a start because Minnesota is the 3rd best pass defense team. So we'll have to take a look at that, make sure that our stats and everything's correct. Here they're getting Jordan Addison at the start because Detroit has and then you look here, Justin Jefferson. Let's go to Atlanta real quick. Let me go to Atlanta. We're on Detroit. Now Atlanta has the pass. Okay, so our stats are right. Detroit versus Minnesota here. So Jordan Addison gets to start, Justin Jefferson gets a start, and you're sitting a nailer this week. Okay. Our next matchup, Indianapolis versus Pittsburgh. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to get a start. Josh Downs gets a start, and Alec Pierce all get starts. Why is that? Because Pittsburgh defense is ranked 26 against the pass. And for Pittsburgh, you got DK Metcalf, Roman Wilson, and Calvin Austin all getting starts this week because Indianapolis defense is ranked 31st. Let's move on to the next one. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Travis Hunter gets our start. We also get Parker Washington getting a start because of the Las Vegas defense. They're ranked 25th. And then Las Vegas Raiders, you have Trey Tucker. That'll be interesting because I think they just signed Lockett from Seattle onto that roster. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But they're given the flex position. This is all based upon how bad the defense is for Jacksonville against the pass. Our next matchup is the Los Angeles Chargers. Keenan Allen gets to start. Vlad McConkey gets a start. And on the Tennessee Titans, you got Jameer. He gets a start. And everybody else gets a sit. Why is that? Well, the Los Angeles Chargers pass defense is ranked 10th versus the Tennessee Titans pass defense is 28. And I believe up next is the Los Angeles Rams versus the New Orleans Saints. Here you have starter Devontae Adams expected to get 27.89. Nobody else gets a start or a flex for the Rams. The New Orleans Saints get Chris Olave. Rashid Shaheed gets the start, and Brandon Cooks is on the bench. That's because we're going against the 14th and 16th ranked pass defense. And the next matchup is the New York Giants versus the San Francisco 49ers. Wan'Dale Robinson's getting the nod here. And you got Darius Slayton. He's getting a nod for the flex position at 18.16. That San Francisco's pass defense is ranked 24th. Here, you're going to get Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, and Jordan Watkins all getting a sit, even though the New York Giants does not have a good pass defense. So that means there's no faith in that quarterback over there. And I believe the last matchup here is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Washington Commanders. Obviously, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, he gets the start. Cooper Kupp, Bobo, they do not get the start. That's because the Washington's defense is ranked 29th. Whereas for the Washington Commanders, Terry McLaurin gets a start. And Robbie Chosen, he's in the flex position. And that goes to against the 11th best pass defense team. And that's going to do it. Like always, this is our new stat machine. We're going to be tweaking it over the next couple weeks to see if we can improve it. But that's what our stat machine is saying for week 9 in the wide receiver position. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and good luck this week.